Welcome to my cancer journey. It has been quite a journey at that. My cancer diagnosis began in 2020 when I was an ENT found a tumor at the base of my tongue, the size of a golf ball. And I was diagnosed with adenoid cystic carcinoma, which starts in the salivary glands. I underwent 35 treatments or 7 weeks of radiation to dissolve that tumor. And then every year I go back for an MRI scan. So in 2024, the cancer was back. It's the whole base of my mouth and also both lungs. So that was in May of 24. And at that time I was at Aurora in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and basically they said there wasn't really much they could do. They could send my scans out to other facilities. They could give me the highest amount of chemo, but that was no guarantee. And they talked about palliative care. And I was 55 years old. I wasn't ready to hear the words palliative care. So a lot of research later. We checked into MD Anderson, Houston, Texas. They're the best of the best as far as cancer research in clinical trials. So I am now in a clinical trial. I started in October of last year. From October to February, it was just kind of flying back and forth, which just was very wearing. And with what I was going through with the chemo treatments, I couldn't handle that anymore. So February, we bought an RV, actually before February, but we moved with the RV into a RV resort in Houston, Texas, so that we're right here for my 2 weeks on, 1 week off treatment. So the clinical trial that I started in October, I will be a year this October. And that's a lot of time. The trial is working, everything's stable, my tumors are not growing, but here we are almost a year, and I just have to continue with it as long as it will continue to work, until they come out with other clinical trials that may work to resolve my cancer. I am on the list for 2 more, and they are genotherapies, so that would be a pill. I wouldn't have to stay here. But for right now, this is working and this is where I need to stay. Sometimes, most of the time, in our lives, when we have things that we have to wait for, that's all I feel like I'm doing. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for things to keep progressing, for another trial to come up, for healing, but we need to wait, and that's part of life. Romans 12:12 says, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer." Physical, mental, and spiritual health is how we make it through these difficult times in life. Physically, I spend each day doing some type of exercise, whether it's yoga, strength training, walking, always something. You got to keep yourself physically fit. And eating well. Steve and I both do a lot of research on different supplements, different types of food that we should eat. For me, my white blood cell counts, keeping that count up is very important. So we have a recipe that we did together, some lamb chops. So I did a little research on lamb, and lamb can contribute to a healthy white blood cell count due to its rich content of immune-supporting nutrients like zinc, selenium, which selenium is one of the supplements that I take, and vitamin B12. It says these nutrients play crucial roles in supporting the production and function of white blood cells, which are essential for fighting off infections and maintaining overall immune health. So these lamb chops were simply amazing. Begin with some fresh rosemary. Chop it fine, enough to measure 1 tablespoon, approximately 3 sprigs of rosemary. 4 cloves of fresh garlic minced. Garlic promotes immune support, reduces inflammation, and helps eliminate toxins in our bodies. Combine 1 tablespoon of rosemary, 4 minced garlic cloves, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, 1/2 teaspoon Himalayan salt, and pepper to taste. Whisk together. We bought grass-fed bone-in lamb rib chops. Baste each lamb chop with the marinade mixture. Repeat on both sides. I prepared these a couple hours ahead of time to let them marinate in the fridge. Take out a half hour before grilling to get to room temperature. Time to fire up the mini green egg. Steve has some fire starter he uses to get the coals going. I call it a grilling blow dryer to speed up the process. The ribs take approximately 4 to 5 minutes per side. This will give you a medium lamb chop. 140 degrees internal temperature. You don't want any pink in the lamb. We are pairing the lamb with quinoa and brown rice with sautéed maitake mushrooms, along with roasted zucchini to complete this cancer-fighting meal. You know what they say, the proof is in the pudding. Let's check out Steve's grilling abilities. It was a fantastic meal all around. Thank you for coming along on my journey with me again, and your continued support and prayers are very much appreciated. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on all the videos, share on your social media. You just never know who needs to hear a message of hope, and subscribe if you have not already done so. Have a blessed week.